Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have some coffee with you and talk about my failures. I have failed on an epic level. Epic. Not quite that bad, but it's bad enough. I'm going to have to restart everything. I'm going to have to restart every part of workout routines I'm talking about, losing weight, getting in shape, all of that, because I was doing it completely wrong. I was buying into this idea of exercise, scheduled exercise, as if it was going to solve all my problems. And portion sizes. Um, this was all wrong. The truth of the matter is, you have to watch how many calories you're intaking and make sure that your activity level is above that calorie intake if you want to lose weight. And then, of course, there's calories amount of calories you want to eat that will help you maintain a certain weight. And some people have it easier, some people have it harder with their metabolism. But exercise isn't always sustainable. It really isn't, because things happen in life. You get too busy. Um, if you're a caregiver like I am, something happens with the person you're caring for, and that puts you behind on everything, and your activity level drops or changes dramatically. You don't really have to worry too much about exercise. You don't have to worry about your portion sizes. You just have to keep the calories down. And you can eat your favorite pizza every once in a while, and you can have your favorite other indulgences and chocolate or wherever else you want. As long as you keep your daily activity level stable and your calorie levels stable. Don't go over that. Don't go under that. Don't do whatever you're going to do. It's really hard because you're listening to all these people out here, all these influencers telling you to do this and that. This is bad for you. This is good for you. This is how you burn fat. It's how you burn calories. It's mostly a lie. If lying in bed, you burn calories. Cleaning your oven, you burn calories. Who has the time or the patience or the inclination to spend hours a day, every single day, doing scheduled exercise? Influencers have the time. Professionals have the time. You and me, I don't have the time. I have to worry about my father, the person I'm caregiving for. I have to worry about my sister and all the stresses that come from what's going on with her. And everything else I have to do. Online, offline, whatever. What I have to do is watch my intake of calories. Again, not portion size, calorie size. And just make sure that my daily usual activity, Walking around, walking, cleaning up, doing the laundry, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the bathroom is going to be enough. And any scheduled exercise that I add to that is going to just be a benefit. That's the thing I have to learn how to do. I got to learn to count calories. And I'm not one of those people that can do that with a scale and all this. I'm not doing portion sizes. I'm watching calorie sizes. If I can make a favorite dish and change some recipe a bit to drop how much calories are in them or in that dish, then I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the calorie count. And when I'm sitting here in front of the computer for hours and hours, getting up every once in a while, walking around the house, that's nothing. I mean, that's something, but it's not enough. It's really not enough. We're a very sedate society now. We don't do much. A lot of us don't have to walk to the store. And even if we could walk to the store, we don't want to. Because it might rain, or we're just no safe way to get there with light. You gotta go up curbs and down curbs, and cross parking lots. We need to focus on our daily life and activity and make sure we do that every day. Like cleaning your kitchen. Clean your kitchen every day. Dust every single day, because there's a lot of dust in the world. And when you get older, you give off dust, apparently. And you live with an old guy, an elderly relative, they're giving off dust too. And who knows what's coming out of the vents anymore. It's just a lot of things to think about and consider. But you have to know that your daily activity, cleaning the kitchen, the bathroom, vacuuming, is burning calories. Sleeping burns calories. You just have to be sure that the calorie count doesn't go above. And some days you feel bloated. And that could be a bunch of reasons for that. That could be that you haven't gone to the bathroom yet, or you're constipated and don't know it. And that's put pressure and weight on you. You're retaining water. Yes, men retain water too. Too much sodium, too much salt, too much of something else. There are certain foods or certain oils or certain things that will make me bloat because I'm retaining fluid. I didn't gain fat. I just am retaining water. And at those times I might have to take a water pill. And how are you going to figure out which things cause you to bloat, which things don't? Who has time to do that scientific study? I sure don't. Maybe it's a combination of two things. If I mix olive oil with this, I get bloating. If I don't put olive oil and this together and just have them separately, I don't bloat. Who the hell knows? This isn't an easy ride. And I don't have time to sit down and study every aspect of that. If I did that, I would never have time to do all the working around the house. My chores, that's an important thing. Chores. Do your daily chores. Dust, clean, vacuum. Every single day. What's the point of working out? If you work out, it's scheduled exercise, and you do that on Monday, and you do that on Wednesday, and you do that on Friday, that's fine. You might have burned off the calories you took in on Monday and Wednesday and Friday. You might have when added to the other activity you did that day. But then what about Tuesday? All the calories you take in on Tuesday, that's not being burned off. That's not being used up. And the rest of the week too. You've got a bunch of other days that you're not burning off these calories at all. So while working out might help build up a little bit of muscle and a little bit of stamina, it's not going to change your life for the better. It's not going to make you lose weight. It's a lie that that's going to happen. And I don't have time to work out every day. I have time to get up and stretch in the morning. Might do a little bit of this and that. But I don't have time every day to do that because I have other responsibilities. And a lot of my life is spent in a chair. And I was a very active person when I was younger, physically active person. Life was very different when I was younger. We did a lot of things. We walked a lot of places. We moved around a lot. We didn't live in our chairs. We didn't. It was a different time. But I can't do that anymore. I don't have, even if I build myself up, work out every day, and I get in this routine, and I got the right calorie count, and I got the right muscle mass, and I got the activity level, and I'm doing exercise every day, something will come in to impede me on Tuesday. You gotta take your father to the hospital and sit there all day. Then you have other things going on. Like the other day, we had a power outage. It hit us at 9 p.m. at night, and I put my dad to bed, put a flashlight next to him and said, use this if you need to get up. We don't know how long the power is going to be off. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm knocked awake, and he's out in the hall. He had fallen over somehow and slammed his head, got blood coming down. This is my 90-year-old father, basically. So I have to get him up in the dark with lights, flashlights and lanterns, trying to get him cleaned up, back in bed. And then I can't go to bed the rest of the night. I'm paranoid that he's going to fall in the dark. We don't have enough lanterns or enough batteries to keep lights on all night long, and he'll forget that the power is out again and might get up and fall over. So that night, when I'm sitting basically in the dark with one light on, flashlight on, trying to get not even enough to really read, sitting there, can't even make coffee because there's no power. The power finally came on at almost 7 o'clock the next morning. The first thing I did was get online and order lanterns, battery-powered rechargeable lanterns, so I can keep them on. Long life lanterns, 16 hours. So I can leave them on if we have another power outage, because he's not going to remember there's a power outage, or he won't even be able to see the flashlight next to his bed in the pitch black. That messed me up for the entire rest of the next day. Threw off every plan I had. I had no energy to do anything. I was still stressed out, overtired, and that messed me up for that day. And it messed me up for the next day. And so that kind of thing gets in the way, where you have a long appointment, and that throws your schedule off. So it's really mostly about your daily normal activity and keeping that calorie count down, not the portion size. I keep saying that, but I need to eat this much to feel like I'm not, I don't know how to say it, to feel like I'm not starving myself. I don't snack a lot on candy. I don't eat a lot of sweets or anything. I don't do that. The weight that is packed on me is mostly due to sitting in this chair in front of a computer for the last 20-something years. Us office workers, this is our lives. This is what happens to us. When we were very active when we were younger, now you're not active when you're older. All that muscle you built up, all the metabolism settings. If you're a very active younger person and you become inactive, you gain weight. That's very simple. That's really the truth. But I'm a big guy, so I need more than just sized portions. I can't do that. It doesn't work for my brain. But if I can keep the calorie count down, the activity level up, activity, not exercise, but activity up, and more activity, more calorie burning than my intake, then I'll be good. Sleeping, vacuuming, mopping, walking. I'm not talking about going outside and walking around for 40 minutes. I'm talking about just your daily walking, back and forth, around. It doesn't have to be cardiovascular kind of workouts. You don't need to get on the treadmill at a 15% incline for 20 minutes. You don't have to do that. You just have to be active, more active than you're not. You can't sit there watch The Witcher on Netflix the whole series through and expect you're not going to pack on some extra weight because you took your calories to another level. And when you starve yourself, your body goes into defensive mode and it stops burning calories and starts storing fat. So that's something you have to work at. The whole scientific thing. Everyone is different. And I can walk by in the store, I can walk by a whole thing of Krispy Kreme donuts and just smell it and feel like I've gained 5 pounds. And then I can go out to a Starbucks or other coffee place. I'm sitting there with my black coffee because the cream will, or sugar or whatever you put in that, it's going to pack on weight. I'm sitting there just with that. Over here's some skinny person eating this big Danish covered with everything, and they got a mocha cappuccino fluffy thing. Dessert is what it is. And they're skinny. Just sitting there. And me just looking at it. Smelling it. I gained 2 pounds. At least I think I did. I actually think I did. I think your brain sometimes, if it sees food, it immediately says, okay. Psychological bullshit is what it is. I don't have time for psychological bullshit. My whole life is full of that. So I'm going to restart everything because I failed. My father ended up in the hospital last month, and I kept having to go see him and sit with him and do things. And I didn't do much at home, except sitting around and do paperwork, research things, and I didn't accomplish a lot. I certainly didn't exercise. That's why I say exercise, predefined, scheduled exercise is not your salvation. It's not the thing that's going to get your weight off you. It's not. It's not. Because it's not sustainable. Because you cannot do that every day. And you often choose not to do that on this day. I'll skip and I'll do a little bit more the next day, and then you'll skip another day. And then sometimes when you do exercising really good for a couple of weeks, you decide to go celebrate and overeat. And you got 4,000 calories for one meal. That's not the whole day. You went to International House of Pancakes, they ate 4,000 plus calories. And then you had different meal later in the day, different meal. How do you burn that off? You can't. You can't. You'd have to be on the treadmill nonstop for 4 days to burn that off. Nonstop. Just to burn off that one day. So you gotta be careful. You have to know the calories. You have to drop the calories. Splurging is fine, but if you're on your good behavior for a week or a month and eating bland food and salads with dressing that's actually full of calories, you're not saving your life on that one. When you do that kind of thing, and you're not satisfied when you're eating, let's say you order a pizza one day, Jets Pizza or Papa John's or something, big pizza. And once that wonderful flavor gets in your mouth, you eat more than you normally would. If you ate a slice of pizza every single day, you'd be fine. You wouldn't need to eat half the pizza, or in my case, the entire thing, because you're used to that. It's not, your brain's used to that, your body's used to that. It doesn't need it. But when you get something you haven't had in a long time, or you've been denying yourself, take that pizza, oh my God, that's so good. And you eat it all, and then the next slice, and the next slice. Some people have self-control. I've never been that way. When my body says, eat that pizza, I eat that pizza. So I have to redo everything. Everything. And I'm going to start again from scratch. I'm going to boost up my daily life activity. I'm going to go back to doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Cleaning my house. Walking around my house. Walking around outside. Doing things. Every day. Chores. And if I throw some exercise, scheduled exercise on top of that, that's an addition. I'm going to watch what my calorie count is, not my portion size, my calorie count, and try to work it out so that my daily normal activity, even sleeping, is more than my calorie intake when it burns that off. And if I can throw in some exercise, I'll do that. Even if it's small exercise. Doesn't have to be an hour, doesn't have to be 2 hours, doesn't have to be 40 minutes. All this bullshit, and I'm going to call it that, when they tell you you don't start burning calories until you've been on the treadmill for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. That's when you start to burn. Bullshit. That's bullshit. That's a lie. You can lay in bed and watch Netflix and burn calories. It doesn't take 40 minutes before you start burning calories. That's an absolute lie. And we bought into it. Because the fitness industry and the influencers and all that, they want you to buy their product and buy into their bullshit and click like and subscribe and see their ads and generate income for them. That's the hard truth of it. Some people are legitimately out there to help you, but you have to listen to them closely. Because when they start spouting off things that are not true, then you know they're full of shit, and they just want to make money off you. And that's where I am today. I'm going to take a break and drink some coffee, get up, go clean my bathroom at 2:46 in the morning. Welcome to Insomnia. And thank you for visiting my channel. Subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And I hope to see you all again soon in this dimension and at this time.